70s sitcom lore. 80s and 90s sitcom lore.
What's up to our fellow sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother loving geek nation? Thank you for tuning in to one of the longest running pop culture and comic book podcasts in the world, Cult Pop Podcast, live episode 124. If you're new here, welcome. I think you're great. This is a place where we talk about comics and movies and TV, and the fact that Ryan Coogler has never made a bad film.
It's true.
Come at us, bros, and all the other things that scratch your nerdy itches.
It's one of the longest because our lawyers said we can't say we are the longest, so it's one of the longest.
Yes.
Something they can't really like. We're hedging our bets. We don't want to get sued.
Tonight, we're broadcasting to you live from Young Junk HQ. Thank you. A bomb-ass podcasting production space in Philadelphia, PA. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo. You can call me Jadles from the Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. Radass comic shop that caters to radass folks just like you. And on this Saturday is going to be the Radass Free Comic Book Day. We're going to have a couple of signings. We're going to have Ben Harvey, who is a Marvel Comics cover illustrator from 12 to 4. And then we're going to have Jadzia Axelrod, who wrote Hawk Girl miniseries as well as Galaxy the Prettiest Star. And we're going to have a sale and free comic books and all that other what have yous. Joining us tonight is special guest and co-host of the amazing podcast, The Me Show Mission. That's M-I-C-H-E-U. No, E-A-U-X.
M-I-C-H-E-A-U-X.
That's what I said.
M-I-S-S-I-O-N. It is not what you said. Yo, what's up? Holla at your boy, this is Len, a.k.a. The Batroom.
You are stupid and stop it.
And Noel.
Yeah, me. Hi.
There he is. Last but not least, in the booth is our expert producer, Dylan.
Hello.
Hey, Dylan, if anyone's watching or listening, thank them. And then if they want to know more about Young Junk HQ, the space and or services, where can they inquire?
You can inquire through my email, dylan@youngjunk.com. You can find that right at the bottom of your screen, DYLAN at YUNKJUNK.com. Down there. You got it, bud. Yeah, hit me up. Let's start a podcast. It'll be fun.
Word. Some bulky gentlemen came into my shop the other day who I believe are starting a podcast with you.
Oh, the Muscle Geeks, yes.
Did they already start it?
Muscle Geek podcast. Yeah,
Muscle Geeks?
They did episode 1 on Monday.
Oh, right on.
Does Dylan, do you provide ideas for podcasts as well, or do they have to come fully fleshed?
I can try to provide some.
So that's
Was
an
this
extra,
like,
that's an extra
hey, you know
service.
what we should do? Get me some muscly men.
Yeah. So
And we'll have a podcast
You
about
came up with this. You were trolling gyms. It's the weight section.
It's obviously very Terry coded. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Terry.
Happy
Belated.
birthday, Terry.
Yeah.
But yeah, Terry let me know that these gentlemen would be coming by, and as soon as they walked in, I went, friends of Terry's?
What, to like ease their concerns? Like, talk to this guy who's been working with me.
Oh, well, they also needed some decor, I think, for their set.
Oh, so they're muscle guys, but they're doing a geeky podcast.
Oh, they're
Yes.
nerd muscles.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, they're horning in on your territory, and they're taking some of your ephemera for their show.
I gave them both swirlies.
We should cross.
Pollinate?
Yes. We should pistils and stems, and cross pollinate.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi. Tonight, now that some time has passed, we wanted to take this opportunity to dive deeper into the #1 movie at the box office and current frontrunner for best movie of the year, Sinners. We talked about it last week for just like a couple of minutes, but we didn't want to spoil anything. We thought, let's do the big boy tonight. But before we do that, Noel.
Oh, we're gonna talk about some of the stuff we've been up to. Yeah, thanks.
No, I meant just the candy.
Oh, like
What do I do?
So we're gonna do a live taste test of this candy. It's called Peelers by Amos. It is from Brussels. It is gummy banana candy. What made me purchase these was, 1, it sounds disgusting, but 2, it's peelable. So the gummies themselves, I suspect you peel them as well.
I imagine like those little round cheeses, the red cheese.
To the show in the.
I went to this camera.
Okay.
Peelers.
Gummy banana. Artificially flavored. Where did you? And you said it's from where? Brussels.
So it is the International Taste Institute of 2024 in Brussels awarded this Superior Taste Award by Amos. Yeah. Most innovative New product award winner from 2024. So where did I get these? Great story. Old Navy.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
thrilling.
So I'm going on. We're doing some international travel, and that means going to a bunch of stores and being like, I need this clothing and that clothing and some of these and some of that.
So Old Navy is where you went.
So basically, I was running around the store. Thank you. I was running around the store, while my wife was trying on things. She was throwing stuff over me and like, grab a small, grab a medium. And I was basically being her runner.
Okay.
And when I got to, these smell interesting. When I got, it's just,
There's a word.
when I got to the front line, I was just like, I was very hungry and was just like, these look disgusting. I'm buying these.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's the whole story.
You don't have that mechanism inside you, do you? Like Noel and I both, we see something that looks disgusting. For instance, Sour Patch Kids flavored cereal. I go, well, I gotta buy this. Is it disgusting? 100%. Do I know that ahead of time? Absolutely. Am I still gonna buy it? Yes. That you don't.
No.
That doesn't. Okay.
No, that.
Oh, I hate it already. I don't. First of all, I don't like fake banana flavored things,
I mean, I didn't.
or
sign
also bananas.
I came here to talk about sinners. I didn't come here.
To engage in some sin. Enjoy. Ew, it's like, it's like wet.
It's peeled.
So so it literally is a banana.
Well,
right.
it's a chewy.
Hot take. The inside's not that bad. The outside tastes like shit.
Wait, you eat the outside? Are you supposed to eat the outside?
Yeah.
You're supposed to eat the peel?
I'm assuming the
there's
whole thing is edible.
Yeah, because there's no thing like the. It's not like a wrapper.
It, it looks like a bug. It looks like a grub. Like we literally just under a rock grabbed a couple of grubs. Give me
Like
more.
Pumbaa?
Let's see this.
Timon and Pumbaa?
Len, why you're hesitating? I don't know why you're not interested.
Are you sure this is edible?
Yeah, dude.
Are you sure this is a food?
Hey, it is made with real fruit juice.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
That's how you treat my hospitality.
Unbelievable.
just
First day back on the show.
Yeah, give me another one. I'll try it.
And I'll tell you, if they were strawberry flavored, maybe. But I already don't like
eat the wrapper.
I did both. I don't hate the gimmick.
the gimmick's cute.
I
don't like touching it. It's pretty gross.
Banana flavored candy is acquired, like maybe one or two, but I'm not gonna sit here and like eat banana flavored things. No. Like I would skip the runts.
See, I don't like
Runts.
bananas.
Runts. That's what I was thinking of. Runts. I skipped the banana runts.
The inside is not as bad. The outside is super banana.
I don't recommend them. Hey, Christopher Goodnight's in the chat saying, damn it, I would have written a Len-specific email if I'd known he was going to be there. You got to start putting out a press release. Also, order a bag of Jolly Ranchers lollipops just for the pink lemonade lollipop.
Well, I mean,
that sounds wonderful.
We could do a complete candy
Tastes
podcast.
like what I envision cum tasting like.
Oh, cool.
Envisions.
I'm going to make a real educated guess based off of previous experience and lots of research.
Yeah.
Tastes like jizz.
Okay. I'm not eating.
Have you guys ever been walking with a woman
Just
and
leave
they're
it
like,
there.
cum tree? That's
No.
a cum tree. I've been walking with multiple women at different times, like not at the same time.
Just like a group of women all telling you.
Just
what
constant
these
my
trees
my entourage of ladies, and yeah, and multiple times they've been like, cum tree. There's a tree that smells like cum apparently, and multiple ladies have told me this.
Did you ever investigate or
I mean, I
inquire
ran up
further?
and licked it, and I was like, that's
No,
not cum.
No, like inquire further, like. Oh yeah. Oh, Dylan, you thought you could cheat out of this shit, huh?
All right. Anyway,
Wait, no.
I mean, I have no answers.
So like, there wasn't a follow up of like, wait, which topiary or bush or tree smells like cum,
Yeah.
huh? And then
They-
verified it and found out what it was. And like, none of that. Okay.
I mostly just doubled over in laughter and went, what? Yeah, that was it.
And were these cum flavored walks before you were married?
No.
Yeah, both.
Pre and post.
Yeah.
Best
Anywho,
wife
Dylan,
ever.
what do you think?
Oh yeah,
I
Dylan.
wouldn't have guessed. Like, if you just handed this to me, I wouldn't have guessed that you're supposed to peel it. It's not
Yeah,
fun to
right?
peel it.
It is not fun to peel, right?
You gotta bite it and then peel it. It's not like there's no clear
Why?
opening. There's no clear opening.
Exactly. If like, nah, this.
I would totally watch a how is this made video on how these are manufactured, because like do they do the one gummy and then a coating, or is there a?
I feel like it's milked out of a body orifice.
I told you.
Yep. Anyway, before we get
you're
on to
welcome.
thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
I feel like this is all content, but whatever. Shit on it.
Content.
Yeah,
Hey, before we get on to the what have yous and the whatnots about sinners, we're going to talk about what we've been up to and maybe some listener emails and comments. A gentle reminder before we dig in. If you're here live, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And also, if you're watching this later, do that as well. You can email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com, just like these folks, because we got letters.
We got letters.
Oh, we got lots and lots and lots and lots of letters. This one is from Pink Apocalypse.
Hey.
Subject, movie ratings.
Movies.
When
Movies.
I don't know why we're all doing that. When I walked away from activism and engagement for the first time in my life a couple of years ago, it left a lot of time to fill. Although I love movies, I've never had as much time for them as other film nerds. I've only taken a couple of film classes.
You're a nerd then.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
for sure.
If you've only taken a couple of classes.
You're not, yeah. I threw myself into seeking out new things in my two favorite categories, 50s and 60s science fiction and 70s and 80s cult horror. There are hundreds, thousands of titles, and it's impossible for me to remember what I have and haven't seen. I had to create a reference list, and when I started buying physical media again, this list evolved into a personally meaningful rating system. Okay, here we go. 1 star, according to Pink. I found it engaging, unengaging, and regretted my time spent with it.
Got it.
That's a 1 star.
2 stars. I enjoyed it well enough, but don't need to see it again. I got what it had to give.
Got it.
3 stars.
I really liked it, would recommend it to others, and probably buy a copy on sale.
And 4 stars.
I love and consider it a must-see classic and would seek out limited edition treatment.
That's a pretty big jump between 3 and 4.
It is.
For me.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be a
Like
5 star.
5-star would be classic, buy every version.
Yes.
A 4 in between that I really liked it and maybe buy it on sale.
Right.
There's a bridge in there somewhere, right?
5 would be classic, buy it in every format.
Yeah.
We're suggesting that you expand your rating, but
To
go on.
1 more star.
To 1 more star.
5 stars.
Everything is on point. There just feels like there's a step in the middle
jump.
there.
Yeah.
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 I don't think in terms of flaming shit pile with 1-star movies because people tried but simply failed. Oh, I see. To make the movie. 2-star movies are fine, but they're fast food. A lot of Marvel stuff falls here. That's true. 3-star movies are where most truly good movies land, where they have something to offer with repeated viewings. 4-star movies are where legends live. For genre work, think Raiders of the Lost Ark, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Road Warrior, Lord of the Rings, etc. I don't use fractional ratings, but they could be useful in comparing within series, as you guys have done with Mission Impossible. For anyone who doesn't know, we do a series called Missions Probable, wherein we're talking about each Mission Impossible movie. Technically speaking, I have 2 rare hidden categories. Ooh, shit. 0-star movies are actually flaming pieces of shit made by people with racist, sexist, or queer-phobic agendas.
Right on.
Christian propaganda films would fall into this category. 5-star, here we go. 5-star movies are movies that exist outside normal rating because due to deeply personal, coincidental reasons, they hit me very hard. It's a single-digit list. Anyway, just curious if there's a method to your madness or if it's gut feeling because you're healthy and don't grossly overthink this crap like I do. Cheers. Pink.
Pink, I feel like if we were in the same state, we'd hang out all the time.
Right?
Because this is how I try to approach everything myself.
Yeah.
In regards to meeting film, books, content, I guess that's the term du jour now. Meeting content where it wants to be as opposed to where you expect it to be. So when you're watching something that is intended to be schlocky or genre, or it's judged off of those parameters, and it almost has its own kind of set of metrics than Schindler's List.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
So like Raiders of the Lost, not Raiders, that's a terrible example. Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
and The English Patient could both be 4 stars, but they are approached with completely different like pieces of my brain.
Right.
And that is the only fair way. And I hate it when people will kind of go after or pick and prod at either publications or critics who are like, well, you gave the Seth super bad 4 stars, and you also gave this 4 stars. Yeah. So you're saying, or this 3.5 stars. So you're saying Superbad's better than Schindler's List? Like, no. They are approached with completely different metrics of success.
100%.
And that's what I see here, and I love it. Also, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, culty, schlocky horror and genre stuff. That's fucking the best.
Yeah.
It's my
good stuff.
It's my happy
Yum,
place.
yum, 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 yum.
Anyway,
I am similarly, but I also, I'm sure you've been able to gauge this, that I'm very emotional about my ratings and like my response to a film. So while I do engage in that same sort of thing, which is judging a thing by its, I think, genre, maybe, right?
what it wants to achieve and did
Sure.
it achieve?
Yeah. What's the goal and get there? Yeah. Also, just how I reacted to it and what my emotionality was in response to it.
Yeah, same thing. Same deal. And, just judging a piece of content, for what its intention is, Now, I do tend to look at things more, I guess, culturally and of the moment. What are they saying what do they have to say of the time? So that sometimes can speak to how I'm actually reacting to it. But more often than not, I try and judge things fairly. I try.
See, I love that level of engagement into a piece of content. The idea of, so like, I say this way too much on the show or just in life, people are tired of it. The filmmaker, the lens is God.
Yeah.
It tells you what it wants you to see. So there is experiencing a movie and getting it.
Yeah.
But then there is a level of either critique or understanding of a piece of content of, okay, I get it. But the way that they chose to present that, what is the storyteller saying about that scenario?
Exactly.
What is the storyteller saying about how that was depicted? Like, usually it comes in regards to like either sexual content or violence. Like if you're showing me those extra 3 frames of the eyeball getting gouged out or something penetrating something else, that is an explicit choice to render a specific response. And what does that say about what you're telling me in this moment, in this movie, in this? Sometimes it's as simple as, I thought it'd be cool, or I want to shock you, like Terrifier.
Exactly.
It's gross to be gross.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is incredibly indicative of its manipulation in a positive or negative way. Like, I think that stuff is, I could talk about that shit all day.
I mean, we were talking about that a couple episodes ago when we were talking about Mission Impossible and, Ilsa.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's looking at Ilsa, but the camera very specifically shows us her side boob.
Yeah.
It's like there's no reason for that. But
Yeah,
we made sure we
the characters in the scene turn away to give her privacy, but the camera doesn't want to give her privacy. That is a choice. Now, I personally don't I think it was more a homage to the spy genre and using sex symbols.
Bond girls.
Yeah. But in the moment, it's just like, that's weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So like, do I think that the filmmaker was being leery? No. Do I think that the genre is leery? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. See, but that's the thing. Yeah. The filmmaker probably was, to your point, just honoring the history of Bond films. But this is, or spy thrillers, because it was Mission Impossible. But you got to recognize where you are now.
Yep.
And it's not going to hit the same.
Yeah.
It just doesn't hit the same. And you got to respect, therefore, if people react differently to that.
Yeah.
To that point, too, like 3 scenes earlier, she's getting out of a pool wet in a bikini. So that could have been the end of the homage.
Yeah.
But they chose to kind of also show her, half undressed later in a sewer.
Yeah, in a sewer, yeah. Anywhomst.
Great email.
Oh, yeah, great email, Pink. Wonderful. I love it.
Wait, is there anything emotional? So like you mentioned, so she mentions, she would basically give movies a pass or a 5-star because they just
hit.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Is there any like a specific one that you guys can think of?
Oh, that hit me specifically emotionally.
Yeah, right time, right place might be a trash movie, but still, it's like that was right. I feel like something in your teens. I don't even know what mine would be, but it's like you should think about it. We can make it a topic
Okay, cool,
eventually.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
is there
A
anything-
trash film that but still
Maybe not trash, but flawed. But it hit you at the right time in the right moment,
I mean,
maybe the right age, and you're like, it's
Daredevil.
great. Maybe.
And
Ben
the
Affleck?
soundtrack, the Ben Affleck soundtrack, and then that period of time in my life when I was married, and every time the Evanescence song would come on the radio, which was a lot, and if we were passing the movie theater, we'd be like, "Er," and we would just like turn in to go see Daredevil again in the theater because the song from the soundtrack hit us a certain way.
Yeah, maybe with Alice, it's the Twilight movies.
Yep.
Like she has very specific emotional memories, and even times of the year that are associated with the Twilight movies. You know, but you could look at them critically and be like, "That's kind of trashy."
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah, there's that whole scene where there's the 3 months and she's depressed, and it just keeps showing you that awesome camera angle, that movement, and that was like her life for quite a while. Yeah, so it hit her a very specific way. She talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can't think of any
no,
right off the top of my head.
just shout at us later if something pops in your head.
Oh,
Text me at 4:30 a.m.
Non sequital, like just somewhere in the show, just like that one, that movie.
that movie.
Yeah.
We have another email real quick before we get going. Fresh Floppies. So Fresh Floppies is a show that Noel and I usually do Tuesday, Wednesday mornings, wherein we review the comic books that come out that week without spoilers. We've missed a couple of episodes.
It's been a very hectic month, and it's not going to get any better in the next month. So
He says, okay, where's the new episode of Fresh Floppies? I've had to raw dog these last 2 weeks without y'all to guide me. In this scenario, raw dog means buying comics without your suggestion or opinions if you haven't seen Shrinking yet. I suggest you raw dog that shit right now. But seriously, the last 2 issues of Wonder Woman have been fantastic. I really don't care for Absolute Martian Manhunter. Love the final page of the final issue of the first arc of G.I. Joe. Looking forward to Exquisite Corpses. Even though it's not on my pull list, I'm still going to give it a shot when the issue comes out. Christopher St. Saucy, good night. Exquisite Corpses. Who's that by?
Tynan.
That's
It's
what I
like an
thought, James
anthology
Tynan.
series with Tynan, yeah.
Yeah, I love him. He's great. I'm also behind on G.I. Joe and Wonder Woman.
I am
so I'm
one
glad you
issue
didn't
behind on
spoil it.
both of them, so thank you for not spoiling them.
Yeah.
We've both watched Shrinking. Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome. Love it.
I loved the 2 issues of Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, we're both all in on Martian
Yeah, I
Manhunter.
thought it was great. But
Absolutely.
it is a trippy, weird book, so I'm not going to fight anybody on that.
Yeah. That's one of those ones where I was like, I don't know if this is going to catch on.
Yeah, both of us were like, this is great.
Who's this
I
for?
don't know
Just
who I'd
us?
recommend this to.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
As a retailer,
Not you, me. Shut up. Go.
yes, you,
Yeah.
JD. What do you think is the biggest comic book company as far as moving graphic novels right now?
Graphic novels or
trade,
comic book?
or trade paperbacks?
DC.
DC?
DC.
Wait, does Image count?
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
would think Image.
Ooh.
Image in so much as variety, but when it comes to like the big twos, DC puts more out
Yeah.
and different formats. But Image is like, you can never not sell Invincible. You can never not sell.
Yeah,
Saga.
it's
You
true.
can never
Right now
not
it's
sell-
Invincible. It's not even a publisher. It's just Invincible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think not as a retailer.
Yeah.
I think Image probably has the most smoke for just trade paperbacks.
Scholastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Scholastic.
I'm sorry. This was a quiz. I thought you were asking out of my experience.
Scholastic. But
Oh.
the disparity
Rain at
is
Telgemeier and all that.
incredible.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC sell about 4% a piece of the market.
Yeah.
The other,
Rest.
the rest of them, such as Image, Dark Horse, and I guess what's it?
Boom.
Boom, all of them, they sell another collectively
4.
7.
Oh, okay.
The rest is all Scholastic.
That's awesome.
I almost hate that.
Why?
Only in so much as that feels like a disparity fabricated from the adherence to a direct market. And so like Scholastic is standard. So like they direct sell to global bookstores and schools and stuff. So like it's easier. Whereas there's a lot of product up until recently, at least like the last 5 years, there's a lot of product that only can be in direct market. So if you compare apples to oranges in regards to like the readership and availability of Dogman to volume 3 of Amazing Spider-Man, it's just, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but
It's so not,
There's so many more avenues.
there's more avenues is what I'm saying. Like, so like if,
one their first big avenue was the libraries,
no, I agree.
which was open to the comics.
And I think that the direct market siloed itself to be able to expand as quickly as other places have. You know what I'm saying? Like they segmented their distribution model so intensely that it's almost impossible for them to catch up in regards to selling to schools and selling to because the stuff that's in libraries is usually donations and stuff that they purchase wholesale from the publisher as opposed to what shops are able to do and afford themselves kind of thing. So it's weird.
It is, but
Yeah, especially when people online are like, comics are dying. And I'm like, no, they're not.
No, they're really not.
Yeah, Dogman's a comic.
well, yeah, comics aren't
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
Comics aren't dying. It's the floppies that aren't moving. But I said that over 10 years ago.
Yeah. And every time we've gotten together since.
Yes. That's why I'm back.
JD is, Len's like, hey, you know how you make a living? Stupid. Stop it.
Well, you've diversified your shop, though.
Yes, that's true.
There are places that refuse to diversify their shop and or understand other ways. Yeah. Understand other ways and other places to reach out and like create more of a community. And then they just got mad about it and blamed people of color and queer people for it.
To be fair, it's woke's fault.
Yes. As opposed to, hey, maybe I should learn about other schools in the area and or how I can partner with libraries and or create avenues or spaces with which people can find out. You know how many people don't even know that weekly comics are available?
I had someone in my shop yesterday.
Oh, you still make these?
Or that was today. It was today or yesterday. Time means nothing to me. But yeah, someone was in here and he was like, oh man, there's a lot of comics in here. I didn't even realize all these things existed. And I'm like, yeah, see those 5 shelves? That's just today's. It was today. That's just today's releases. And he's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
What's this? And he like got excited and started picking stuff up.
It's like they went out of their way to be exclusive and then now they're bitching because people don't know about them.
Yeah.
It's really stupid.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey,
Go buy comics.
Let's do the portion of the show called "What's Poppin'," wherein I asked my other friends what was poppin' for them this week. Hey, Len.
Yo,
what?
What was poppin' for you this week?
Oh, I've been checking out Lazarus.
What's that?
On Max. Have you checked that out?
I've never heard of it.
Really?
I had to look it up.
When you texted it was Lazarus, I'm like, is it the comic book?
Oh, it's an anime.
There's something called the Lazarus Project, which is live action TV show, and like I wasn't sure.
No.
Yeah.
Lazarus is an anime that is on Max. It's by Shinzero Watanabe, I believe. I might be mispronouncing the name, but he's the director of Cowboy Bebop. And like this is like
what?
Watanabe.
Watanabe.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, I saw. Was this on Netflix?
No, it's on Max.
Max, I saw this somewhere, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yo, it is so.
It looks exactly like Cowboy Bebop. Like this.
It's kind of like the same aesthetic. It's cool as hell. The music's by Kamasi Washington.
I was gonna ask about the music.
Yeah.
What genre of music is it?
It's kind of got like like a little bit of like the whole deal like neo hip hop bluesy jazz
Because every one of this guy's shows has like a music theme. So like Cowboy Bebop was blues and funk.
It's kind of still
Samurai
in that a little
Champloo
bit to me.
was hip hop.
And it's releasing weekly, which I love.
Oh, I love when that
and like
happens.
the story of it is like this doctor created this drug that cured the world of all pain. Like it was like the ultimate painkiller. But then he went away for like 3 years, and then he came back and announced that he didn't like how the world was like using this drug, but it's cool because within I think like 30 days time, the drug is triggered to turn into like the change metabolically within your body, and you will all start dying. So now there's this group called Lazarus, like this group of like agents. They have 30 days to find dude and to get and to somehow get a cure. And each episode is a day in the search for dude.
All right, I'm in.
It is.
Yeah, this sounds wonderful.
It is so dope.
It's got a 90% Rotten Tomato score.
Yo,
7.5.
And it's animated, and it's directed by Watanabe. But the fight sequences are directed by Chad Stahelski, the dude who did John Wick.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, yo, this joint is ridiculous. Now, to be fair, I kept seeing the tiles, and I was like, yo, this looks kind of dope. And as always happens on the Michelle Mission, when I come in here, I just sit for the first 20 minutes before the cameras go on and listen to my co-hosts Vincent and Dylan back there talk about all the things that they've been watching. So they were saying like, so Vince comes in like, so Dylan, you watched Lazarus? I've been waiting for you to come in so I can talk about Lazarus. Because Dylan's like a music head. It's, oh my God, come on, see, watch it. It's like, oh my God.
I did not watch it. I didn't even watch it. You were putting words in my mouth.
I mean, I feel like
they sound like you.
I can't tell which one of you is talking.
He's on,
Like which one?
I feel like he's on camera, so he's
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Damn it.
correct.
God damn it.
Yeah. He is.
But no,
I didn't know Vince was watching it too. I remember you recommending it to me.
Yo, it is so dope. It is dope. It is.
Oh, I'm in.
It's fly.
See, I saw the poster that the audience can't see right now, but it very much looks like Cowboy Bebop, and I was like,
I've been
someone's just trying to be Cowboy Bebop. I'm not going to bother with this, but
so I don't.
Len says, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of anime. My anime education ended like 20 years ago, but my nephew's getting into it, and he keeps recommending things to me, and I keep not wanting to because most of the thing he recommends are like 17 years worth of lore to learn and stuff. So I'm just like, I'm good. I love you though. Stay geeky.
Dude, just stick with the first 300 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
And
like,
then it gets good.
You can skip episode 1 through 400 and then just like
That must
what
be
the
Full Metal
fuck is
Alchemist.
going on? But this sounds like, because I kind of want, I have been wanting to revisit Cowboy Bebop and then just kind of like slide it to him because it still holds up animation wise.
It does. And
this might be a good gateway.
And it definitely is. It's done in the style of Cowboy Bebop, but you can see where some of the more the technology of today is a little bit in there, but not to the point where it looks like it's computer animated. So it still looks. There's still a lot of hand drawn aesthetic to it. It is fly as hell, and it's definitely a worthy successor.
I'm a grumpy old man when it comes to my animation, especially for anime. I don't watch a lot of anime, but there's so many shows right now that have that CG cell shaded look.
Yeah.
And I just, as soon as I see that, I go,
You know what? I'm like that
the
too.
Dragon Prince.
Sometimes
I was like, the
I like it,
Avatar
sometimes I
folks.
don't.
Click. Oh, never mind. Unclick. Right? That's how it works. Unclick.
I'm like that too, but the one that worked for me that definitely has that kind of like cell shade, but it's still cool is on Netflix. Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That gets
is-
a pass.
See?
That shit was awesome.
Super Sons also gets a pass. That Super Sons.
that
that was
real.
cool.
That looked real computer animated.
Oh, but it worked.
The
with
story
the vibe
was
of the movie
fun.
though.
The story was fun, but I do wish it was animated differently.
Same.
That's why I don't return to it.
The movie's great, but the animation was like,
I haven't watched Blue-Eyed Samurai Eyes.
oh my God, so
Oh,
good.
Blue-Eyed
Blue-Eyed Samurai is
Samurai
so good.
I know. I'm sorry. We've been watching the morning show.
Oh, also very good.
That's what I hear.
Well,
We
I'm
like commit to one show and then just like plow through it and then other things.
Len. You've convinced me. I'm definitely gonna check out that.
Ditto.
Lazarus.
I've got a
I'm all
long
in.
plane ride coming up soon. I'll see if I can download a couple.
Hey JD, what's been popping for you? Well, I'll tell you. Andor season 2 on Disney Plus. We watched the first 3 episodes, and Rewind.
I love this.
So Andor season 1, I watched the first 3 episodes, and I was like, I don't know, man, this is all right. And then it wasn't until we got to episode 3 where they started to go to the prison, right? The whole prison storyline, where I was like, my Alice arms went up, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
That's episode 4. No, it's like
It's 4.
no.
Right, it's
it's
the
like
first 3 and
it's
then
like
4?
8.
Is it 8?
Well,
it
no,
can't be.
Yes, it is. The first arc is recruitment. The second arc is the heist, and the third arc, which is episodes 5, 6, and 7, or no, like
No.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
Anyway, it took me until that point of the show to be like, oh, here we go. Now this is amazing. And I felt similarly to season 2, episodes 1, 2, and 3. I think that there was some interesting stuff in there. I think all the acting's really good. There's a lot of quality in it, but I also found myself going, oh man, it's another wedding scene. Okay, cool. We're getting ready for the wedding, and then we're having a wedding, and we're watching the entire wedding in real time. And now, hey, there's a dance sequence, which I got emotional about the dance sequence. That performance in there I thought was really good. And the stuff with the dueling rebels I thought was interesting enough, but I feel like it's been a bit of a slow start. And I know that Noel is chomping at the bit to disagree with me. Go on.
I just think you're being reductive about it. It's very
okay.
Well, you literally just said like all that happened is they planned a wedding and then we saw the wedding and that's boring. No, there was a wedding, but the subtext and the subplot of the entire wedding is them trying to coordinate plans on how to fund a rebellion during it.
Yeah.
And it all culminates in finding out something horrible on two fronts and her not being able to do anything but dance.
Sure.
That is
got all that.
a shit. Yeah, but that's
but I didn't need to watch every part of the wedding
describing
to do it.
The whole sequence of events as like they planned a wedding is reductive.
I was explaining what I did not like about the show.
The wedding.
Not that was all that the show was. I did not reduce the show. I explained my problems with the show.
Sorry, that's what it sounded like. I apologize.
Yeah.
No, it's the way that it's structured to me. I find it incredibly interesting. It is almost slice of life-esque where they present a period of like a small period of time each year, maybe the course of like 2 days in 3 episodes to show you where they're at and these seemingly small struggles and how they escalate. Yeah. And then I watched the second 3 episodes.
I haven't gotten there yet. Oh wait, how many?
They're
they
dropping
in
3.
Threes.
They're
They dropped in
dropping 3 a
threes.
week.
That's right.
We watched the other 3. It's a year later, and it is just as kind of, it is just a slice of I can't even really talk about it. It's very interesting. Yeah. Well, you might find it boring because it is
We'll see.
It is very kind of like in the weeds and who to trust, and it basically takes the Gorman subplot further a year later.
The spiders.
Where they are, what the Empire is actually trying to do and seeds that they're planting and how Andor gets kind of like roped into it. It also deals a shit ton with trauma, how like him and Bix are actually still coping from her assault and torture. Like it is a very intense and almost melodic show. And it is not concerned so much with pacing in a normal Star Wars way.
I think that is the main issue. The stuff that happens, and forgive me, I don't remember the planet, but the fields.
Yeah.
Like with them on the run and the immigrant status and all that sort of stuff. That I found endlessly stressful and interesting. It was really just the wedding stuff where I'm like, oh, we're just watching this whole thing unfold very slowly. But the elements of like her with her daughter before her daughter goes out.
See, love
that. Love that.
And also too, the way that you finished your thing with saying, I felt very emotional about the dance sequence.
Yeah.
I would argue that you felt very emotional about it because you watched all of those like slow, methodical instances and pieces of time that got you there.
Reserved behavior.
Where she literally had to explode, and as a viewer, you sitting through all of this mundanity.
Yeah.
Exploded.
Like part of the point.
It functions like they function like little 3-act plays, each of these episodes, and they're not overly exciting, but I think it's building towards something that's just going to be incredibly fist pumpy.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I'm sticking with it. It's, like I said, there's a lot in it that I do like. And I know that we will get to a place by the end of Andor season 1. I was like, ooh.
I thought the wedding was crazy good.
Yeah.
And so much as like, are we doing spoilers?
Well, the amount of, not research because it's fake, but like.
That'd be weird shit.
The fact that they put together all of those rituals.
Oh, yeah.
For this fake world building.
Yeah, there's like a whole fake like wedding ceremony and structures and things and rituals, and all of them felt incredibly real. But more so than that, it was the who was invited to the wedding and the ways that they were able to like kind of communicate with each other and plan rebellion stuff between the moments and the shadows, and that doesn't go very well. And you're like, all I could fucking do is get drunk, which was just so incredibly cathartic. Like, not only did I just lose my daughter, but now I've lost why I even put her in this situation to begin with. Yeah, did you forget that?
I did not clock that.
Yeah. The whole reason why her daughter is even in this marriage proposal is
it's
because they needed to
trying to
find
get help.
funding.
Yes.
And her friend from childhood was like, this dude has funding that I am filtering for him.
Yeah.
And we can make it available to you if you just introduce your children.
Yes.
Now we're a
Basically,
year later.
sell off your kid.
We're a year which is the Chandra ways, but she just didn't want to do that for her daughter, but now she has to. But then you find out during the wedding that funding might not come through now.
Yeah.
So not only does she...
Spoiler alert.
It's 2 weeks later. I'm sorry. Not only does she have to basically let the rebellion assassinate her best friend from childhood because now he knows too much and can't follow through, but she's also damned her child into this loveless... And we also get that scene where the kid, like the little girl is crying because the boy that she has to marry won't even hold her hand.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want any part of this. So she's about to commit her life to somebody who doesn't give a shit about her.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, while you're looking at the relationship between her and her husband, which is loveless.
Because they were arranged
Same thing.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find the show immensely fascinating, but I struggle recommending it to everybody because it is not typical Star Wars. Yeah. It's also not typical television.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds very Game of Thrones.
It is very Game of Thrones.
Very Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that so the best friend was getting greedy, right? He wanted everyone else got what they wanted. I helped out, and I'm a little
short. It was a little bit of both. Think of him as like a hedge fund manager. Not only could he not follow through with the original promise, he needs more to see about another thing to do. So it was.
I thought he was just sort of like, I'm going to reveal what's going on to someone who you don't want me to reveal this to, unless we find a number. Right?
It was a little bit of both. It was like, I fucked up, but I can make it right. And if you don't want me to make it right, I know things. Like,
okay, gotcha.
It was a little bit of both. But it's Tony Gilroy who did.
I know the name.
He did Rogue One, but he also did like Michael Clayton and as a writer with Soderbergh for a lot of things. So his style is just very like intense and play-like, almost like a David Mamet style, where it's he's not concerned with reminding you of things. It's just like, here we are in the moment, and it's tense.
There's a bunch of times where I'm like, who's that? Who's that lady? She's got a cool nose. I know her. Where's she from? Why do we know her?
Some of them I clock. And I watch it with my wife, and she's enjoying it too. But she doesn't even ask for it. But I will pause it and be like, "Do you remember when they did that thing?" Because that and so
I
far,
need you on my couch.
I know it sounds awful, but so far she's been like, "Oh shit, oh cool, I didn't remember that." I was like,
"Yeah."
Like I want her to
want her to be
in my head with me
in the moment with you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Instead of like afterwards be like, why didn't you like it? Didn't you remember that thing that happened 2 years ago that you,
Yes, I understand.
Sorry.
I dig that.
So,
My question about Andor, because I don't watch Andor.
Sure.
And I have my own reasons, and it's fine. But I recognize people who opinions I trust, I respect, say that it's great. God bless.
And Noel.
and then also Noel. Yeah.
Sorry.
And Noel. My question, though, is when they eventually get on the right foot and start doing new Star Wars.
There's your first problem. Yeah.
Star Wars films.
Yeah.
Do you want them to pick up some of these, admittedly, I understand, long ago threads that have been seeded in Andor into the film?
So this is a prequel to Rogue One.
Right. Well, Rogue One is a prequel to the
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
New Hope.
So I'm saying when they come back to do new Star Wars, it's going to be so many.
Go forward.
And as far as
I'm tired of the Skywalker saga.
The makers of this show.
But Andor is not Skywalker.
No, it's not.
It's pre-Skywalker, right?
Right.
But as far as the makers of the show.
Well, it is Skywalker because it's between the prequels the episode 4, right? So it's Anakin Skywalker is in the world, in the universe. Currently.
Yeah, but from what
so
I
it's part of the
understand, he's
Skywalker
tangentially
saga.
in there.
Yeah.
I think it's a different conversation. In so much as is this Skywalker saga, I get what you're saying, that it can only exist because of those other movies, but it has absolutely nothing to do with any of those. But it informs what the Skywalker saga can be or becomes. So it is and it isn't. It's weird. But either way, the creators and everything don't. No. The end is Rogue One and how it informs the rest of everything else, and that's it.
Okay.
It was actually originally pitched as a 5-season show, and they were all like, no, it's going to be 2 seasons, and the second season is going to take place over the course of 4 years.
Okay.
So, like, they even
all
wanted
of
it-
these little side trips and side plots and B plots and B stories and all that stuff, all of that culminates basically into what you saw in Rogue One.
Yes.
Yes. So this is if you are anybody, whether it's you or anybody else, is I don't want to invest in something that's going to keep going or isn't going anywhere. That it is going to be a closed system, a contained 2 seasons in movie,
And it's basically just showing the creation of the rebellion.
You know, that's actually kind of interesting. Still not going to go to it, but it's interesting because years ago on HBO there was a show called Rome, which was basically like the story of the Roman Empire right after Julius Caesar. That's what it was meant to be.
Okay.
And the creator of it, Bruno Heller, he had a 5-year plan as well, but for the funding got effed up and everything like that.
1 or 2.
So it was only 2 seasons.
2, right?
The only 2 seasons, and the second season they had to like basically like in the middle of the season make like 5-year jumps and 4-year jumps just to get to at least approximate where he wanted to get to, right? And it sounds like, and he always regretted that. But it's what happened.
You gotta finish your thing.
It sounds like what this is almost like Rome, but intentionally.
Yeah.
And it's that makes it a little attractive.
So if you want to compare it to like the last season of Game of Thrones, when they had to start speeding stuff up, so like previous seasons, it was like you felt 3 months of them traveling to another land. In the last season, it was just like, oh, I made it. I'm
Jump
here
cut.
now. Yeah, jump cut.
Yeah, just like She-Hulk across the panel.
Every 3 episodes, there's a single kind of like plot thread that opens and closes, and then the next chapter starts with just like the date, BBY 3, BBY 2, to let you know a year later, and then in dialogue they'll be like, you did that thing, like there's no catch up, there's no anything. It's just like this is where we are now, and anything you need is context.
Is there a Starbucks coffee on like a desk in every one of the new
No, they're
chapters?
way more intentional.
Oh, okay.
What was that from?
They did.
Game of Thrones.
They did announce that the next Star Wars movie.
I know.
Yeah, the Starfighter.
Starfighter.
Yeah, that's the one with Ryan Gosling.
It's 5 years after Rise of Skywalker, and it has nothing to do with the Skywalkers or probably even Jedi, as far as I know.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, Noel, what was popping for you this week?
I'll go real quick. I want to talk about Megan from
God, it's been an
2022.
Oh, wow. Sequel's coming out.
Yeah. Because of the sequel's coming out, they're re-releasing it in theaters.
Oh.
As a interactive dual screen experience. So take out your phones and learn things and watch the movie at the same time. Now, okay. You guys are going to think that I'm a poo-poo this. I'm not. I abhor cell phone use during a movie.
Sure.
I think you should be taken out back and sent home.
Old Yellard.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna go violent, but I think you should be kicked out. Yeah. Like I think it is a space for immersion and for just like watching the light box being lost. However, if you're gonna do it, make it incredibly clear that is the point of the presentation. Yeah. So they are advertising this as a use your phones, sing along, have fun. Great. Have at it.
Okay.
But if it's not that explicitly, put your shit away. And
So this
I will
hasn't
never
happened
do
yet?
this. No, it's I think it's tonight.
Oh, okay.
But the idea of I like
Is it a one night thing?
I think it's like a one night thing.
Ah. Bye, guys.
You would want to do this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I check it out.
Megan?
Why not? I like Mithrigan.
Yeah, but like
was cute enough.
imagine it just being like a meme factory of people using their phones and screaming
I'd be
and hollering
curious
and
for
stuff.
the experience to see what it is.
So like Rocky, like every time I say like don't use your phone in the theater, people are like, yeah, but like if you've never been to Rocky Horror, if you've never been like, that is
It's a different.
an explicitly different experience where you are invited to do those things. Not I'm watching Drop and some cats making jokes behind me that have nothing to do with the movie.
Yes.
Like-
and in Rocky, it's still immersive.
Yes, because the whole point of it is being with the movie.
Yeah.
Minecraft is going to do like an interactive meme screening where people are invited to like, throw popcorn, and shit, whatever they're doing.
or whatever. Yeah.
Great. Sing-alongs for Wicked.
Sure.
Like they had
Great.
sing-along screenings where you're invited to sing along. Awesome. Label it.
Yeah.
Label it as such. And then if it's not labeled, you're not the main character.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of cool. I would never want to do it,
I would
but I
do
think this is kind of cool.
I'm trying to think. Like I saw Megan. I'm trying to think of what is that cool about it. That
It was like I personally think the movie's a little mid. It's just like fun,
Yeah.
but
It's not good.
not good,
Yeah.
and also not so like iconic. Other than like the 3 seconds that she does a dance,
The dancing, yeah.
that it requires like an
memed.
interactive
Yeah.
experience. Like if I'm using the other screen, like my phone on Instagram, to find out what they're going to like do, what is it going to give me, like behind the scenes clips or like what the song is from? Like there's I struggle to figure out what like the interactive nature of the movie is, which
me too.
Yeah.
Well,
It made $180 million.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why they're making the second.
Yep, that's why.
The second one looks terrible.
Oh, I haven't even watched the trailer for it.
It's Terminator 2.
Pink is in the chat. Rogue One was not as amazing as Star Wars fans insists it is. Andor is doing emotional heavy lifting that will elevate Rogue One. Mark my words, they will use Mandalorian to fix the final trilogy. And Palpatine's return will be explained. It's already been explained.
He's cloned.
He's a clone.
Of a clone of a clone.
Yeah. Anyway, hi. Hey, do you guys want to do the rest of the show? It's been an hour. Should we talk about Sinners?
Sure.
So Sinners, written and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Wunmi Mosaku, Jamie Lawson, Delroy Lindo, Lee Jun Lee, Jack O'Connell, and introducing Miles Caton. Miles Caton. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their Mississippi hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. It's got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 97% audience score. We talked about this last week. Holy shit, this movie was amazing. Len, what did you think?
Oh, it was a fantastic movie. Has become like one of the rare films that is elevated to instant cultural, event must see in theater. I saw that
Like Barbie.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
But even
it's probably a pretty good comp.
Yeah.
yeah, but I think even more so than Barbie, because I saw because Barbie was definitely being marketed to a certain demographic. This is crossing demographics. It's crossing races. I saw pledges or pleas for people to go, if you haven't seen it on IMAX, to go tonight to see it on IMAX, because it's the last night you can see it on IMAX, because they're going to be pulling it for Thunderbolts.
I
Which
really
is
wanted to see
just
this in
mad.
IMAX.
Damn
it.
Oh,
you've already seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yes.
Oh, you jerk.
Sorry.
Tomorrow.
It is, but it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It is, the story of it, the history, the authenticity of the sets. It's scary as fuck, but it's sexy as hell.
It is
Oh, it's a
sexy. We were
very
just
horny
talking
movie,
about that.
yeah.
A horny movie.
Yeah,
That very
but you know
thirsty
what?
Film.
But it's horny, but it's not
Gratuitous?
gratuitous at all. It's very it's very felt. It's
horny in the most positive way, not in a lecherous way.
yeah, man.
It is very sexualized.
I created a word for this when we were talking about it on Michelle Mission. I said it's black ethereal, man, because it is 100% black, but it's ethereal as fuck, man. And then just the way that, just the presentation of, it's a vampire movie, but the presentation of the vampires is unlike has been seen in vampire movies in a long time, even though it's pulling from a lot of influences. Ryan Coogler has talked about being influenced from Dusk Till Dawn in this movie, right? But you could get lost in the first hour of the movie thinking this is just some period film, this period gangster film, and next thing you know, there's blood dripping from people. And I love that the vampires drool. I'm like, oh my God, this is so crazy.
Sometimes they just spit right in your mouth.
Well, yeah, it's you're drooling. You want
that? Didn't unlock anything in me.
You smelled the trees?
Nice callback. So when you went to go see this, you'd already seen the trailer? Did you already know that?
I knew that it was about vampires.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was about
afoot. Gotcha.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't. Other than that, I specifically saw one trailer, and it's like,
I'm out.
I'm good. I don't need to see any more.
Same.
And I was there, and Michael B. Jordan, who is an actor I've enjoyed, but so subtly but fully creates two entirely separate characters playing Smoke and Stack in this movie.
Yep.
Like, I got to give props to him. And props to Ryan Coogler. Props to, I think, Ludwig Göransson is the person that did the music. Yeah. The music is
I didn't.
It's like a Nordic white guy with long hair.
He does all his music. He did the music for Black Panther.
Yeah. I had no idea that this was going to be kind of part musical.
It is.
And like the importance of music in this movie can't be understated. I was really surprised and impressed, delighted.
I don't even think it's part. I think it follows the rules of musical. Like they break out into song to so like the main music sequence like crosses the border of it being full musical because like movies with music is just diegetic music where they're playing music in the movie. Musicals, like the rule of musicals is emotion becomes so strong that they have to break out into song. And most of the movie just has performances, but that sequence explicitly, it becomes a musical because it's a performance for the viewer, not the people in the movie.
Yeah.
So I actually think this is a musical.
It's a musical.
And they lampshade it right in the beginning of the film. They talk about how there is some music that it connects. It becomes like an out-of-body experience.
Becomes timeless.
Oh.
Yeah. So we haven't had a chance to talk about the scene, right? So to me, the standout scene of this whole film is the concert, the performance.
Sammy's performance.
Sammy's performance.
At the juke joint.
At the juke joint. And how I think when it starts to morph into what it becomes, I was like, we're doing this. And it was almost a little silly because of some of the costuming and everything of some of the characters.
How it crosses time.
Yes. But as soon as that was like a second, I was like, what's happening? Oh. So yeah, just watching that sequence opened up the whole movie. Because I don't know if you had listened to the last episode, probably not, but I was comparing it to Godzilla.
Okay.
Godzilla -1.
Okay.
Because Godzilla -1, yes, you get a little bit of a hint of a Godzilla in the beginning, in the cold open, and then you're just treated to this story of war and this soldier and his family. And at a certain point, I remember kind of clocking in to myself and be like, oh, right, and then a Godzilla's going to happen. There's going to be a Godzilla soon.
Yeah.
I guess that's cool. Like, I don't need a Godzilla. And I had the same experience here where I knew that a spooky was going to happen because I remember seeing the trailer a while ago. I was like, maybe it's vampires, not 100% sure. And so watching this movie, being like, oh right, a spooky's gonna happen soon, like a horror thing. Yeah. But I really just want them to have a wonderful night at the juke joint. It's like it'll be cool if monsters show up, but fuck, I'm really into the character work here.
Which we learned later wouldn't have even been possible because it was all set up as a kill floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were never allowed to be. They were never allowed to just celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that this was supposed to be what would you call that? Historical fiction about the. I remember back in the 1930s time period, maybe late 20s, of a juke joint. It was sort of a shed where a club where all the black folks would gather, and then it wound up getting burnt down. Maybe
There's been a few of those.
You could probably find a couple of those examples.
I thought it was going to be like that, but like, what if vampires?
Oh, what if that is what happened in that time? You know?
Even if
historical.
that was the case, the idea of making them vampires who basically feed off of cultures does also still work.
Yeah.
And the beauty, how cool of it is that the vampire is Irish.
That's one of the things. So at first I was like, oh, okay, the white guys come in to steal the black man's music. That's what we're doing. Great, I'm down. And then wait, hold up, he's Irish. That's weird. And then making the connection of, oh, well, he comes from a group of people who also came to America and were
Oppressed.
Yeah,
The Irish and blacks would live together, which is why which was what made the other musical moment when the vampires are
the river dance.
The river dance, and the black people are getting into it as well, because that's what they did. That's what they did in their communities. You know, it was that blending of those cultures, right? But it also spoke to, you know, at one point, those cultures divided because the Irish became white, you know, and all of a
Dylan
sudden.
and I were just talking about this before the show.
Really?
Yeah.
When you became white?
When I became white, yeah.
When you decided you were white? Yeah. It was a formative moment for both of them. Yeah, we could relive it. But
It was when I watched The Crow. Right? Like, I must be white. I love this movie. I must be so white. Yeah.
I think there's probably a better comp than The Crow. For
Yeah,
like
that's
the
the
movie
first one that came to
the movie
mind.
that makes you discover your whiteness, your white.
Yeah.
White girls. I actually looked up a couple of things. Like I was telling them before we started recording, I looked up a couple of things about the songs that they chose in the River Dance, which I thought was really cool. The Rocky Road to Dublin. That song specifically tells a story of an Irish man leaving his hometown to travel to Liverpool because his hometown was the location of a Catholic mother and baby home where bodies of over 700 babies were found. So Remick, the main vampire, uses the song to invite the juke joint patrons to join him and others to turn into vampires, offering them a chance to escape Jim Crow, Mississippi.
Exactly.
However, the song itself is about... even though it's catchy, it's a story about exchanging one form of suffering for another form of suffering. Because when they did go to Liverpool, they were simply just oppressed by the English. They were escaping oppression and poverty to just jump into oppression or poverty. So to me, that's the thesis of the whole fucking movie. The idea of let's be a one race together, but it's just one cage for another when you don't have your own sense of self, your own culture, your own agency, your own diaspora. Like what you represent is something shared, and as wonderful as the idea of like I don't see color or whatever sounds, it also reduces you to
Colorlessness.
gray.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think is just more than a movie could offer me. Like that's just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right. And then here's the thing. All of that is there.
Yeah.
But if you don't clock that,
It doesn't matter.
it's still just a good ass vampire movie.
Yeah.
You know, with plenty of like, if you're like, yeah, but I want the horror. Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's still there.
I saw somebody say it was making it. They said it wasn't a horror movie, but it was a very horrific movie because even the first hour is treacherous in its own ways.
Oh yeah.
And then the second hour is treacherous in its own ways that are more horror based, but still like that doesn't seem to be like the point. With most modern horror movies, the point is to get to the supernatural. This was just we're sitting over here and now we're sitting over here, but neither spaces are safe for me, right? And that's the
There's
horror.
always tension.
The horror is not because of the vampires. The horror is the era,
Where
the
we are.
situation, where
Exactly.
where we are, and we are technically not safe anywhere. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much influence you have, notoriety, resources, you are still in threat, in danger.
Yes.
And that was palpable.
And all of that is set up by the opening scene, which is Sammy coming back
Yeah.
to the church. You know, we don't know, what he has just gone through, but his clothes are torn up and he only has basically like a piece of his guitar left. And then it cuts to basically, you know, the day before.
One day before, yeah.
One day before. So as some might say a little bit idyllic, some of those sunshiny scenes are, you're just waiting, okay, what's going to be the turn?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be the turn? Oh, they're never going to make it to the joke joint. Well, they made it to the joke joint.
Yeah.
He's never going to play. Well, he's playing it.
Yeah.
They seem to be this grand scene where, you know, all of a sudden there's pop locking and funk players and Chinese dancers like
Burning the house down.
burning down the house. The roof is on fire.
We don't need no water.
Let
Let the
this
motherfucker burn.
You're like, oh my God, this is like, who are those little Irish? Oh.
I would consider it a horror movie.
Oh, no. It
100%.
wasn't
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion.
Oh,
It was really fascinating,
Yeah.
kind of like subtle distinction on how we approach and or treat genre.
Yeah.
Like it has horror elements. Does that make it a horror? Is it just more of like a horrific atmosphere that may cross supernatural or not? Like it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But it is the same desired effect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Danny Bowder says Delroy Lindo always rises to the occasion.
True story.
I'm always delighted to see him. And Gerald Boney says genre fluid is what Coogler has called it.
I believe that.
Nice. I like
believe
that.
That's how we treated.
That's fun.
That's how we treated the superhero genre too.
Yeah.
That's how he treated Creed.
Yeah.
That's how, like Ryan Coogler is the biggest film nerd, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Speaking of though, that sequence, yeah.
No, I was going to yes, and you. He is the biggest film nerd who is still showing that he can do original stuff.
Yep.
As opposed to the other biggest film nerd, which is Quentin Tarantino, who I do enjoy, but he basically just
Blenders.
does exactly.
He blenders it.
He just blenders. That's all.
I thought you were gonna say Christopher Nolan. Like I think, you know what? I think Coogler is like the perfect kind of mix of these, because like when I think of Christopher Nolan, I think of original storytelling, but then also just like an immersion in technology and how to leverage it to tell your story. Quentin Tarantino, big nerd, original storyteller, one mode, one set of tools, absolutely excellent with it, and is a master at that. But I don't see him, and evidenced by his choices, ever trying to grow beyond that box. Whereas Coogler is. Like, he literally sees something and finds a way to not only make it his, but how to expand it.
Right.
Like vampires in 1930s. Oh, yeah, it's cool. It's something much bigger and much crazier than that. Oh, we want to do a oneer through a musical number. Why don't we do it with 70 millimeter IMAX cameras in one shot? You know how fucking difficult that is?
Right.
How big that camera is? How loud that camera is?
Yes.
You're doing a musical number with one take with a camera so loud that you can't capture sound on location.
I know.
That's intense and insane and
Awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I would say that he's still, what you have in Coogler is the synthesis, if that's the right word, of the two that you just mentioned, Tarantino and Nolan. Because I don't think Nolan is the nerd for movies and film that Tarantino and Coogler are. But I think that Coogler is more selective and does more with his influences than Tarantino. Tarantino's got an influence, and bam, he puts it right on the screen. You can see exactly this.
There's no subtext.
There's absolutely none. But
1970s kung fu movie. Go.
right.
I'm gonna yes and you about Christopher Nolan. He's just British, so we don't see his nerdiness.
He's very reserved.
Because there have been interviews of him where like he'll be like, "Oh, I love the Fast and Furious movies. They're excellent action films." Like he loves all the things, but he will, to speak for somebody I've never met, he seems to meet the content where it is. But then he'll pick it apart based off of how did you do that? And how can I do things with what you did in order to do what I wanted? Like, and that's what I see in Coogler, where it's like, oh, this is a new trick. How do I make this mine? Superhero. How do I make this my voice? A sports biopic. How do I make this my voice? And that's you don't see that anymore. Like it's all 4-quadrant shit, right?
I have a question for you guys. Speaking of how to do,
Yeah.
does anyone watch a behind the scenes thing? I haven't gotten a chance to yet, but like, how do we have Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan together? Like, is it like a CG digital face thing? Is it just anyone? How do they do it? I don't know.
It's usually 2 or 3 things. Like he'll film it twice. One's with a body double in each one.
Yeah.
Some depending on the shot. Sometimes they're able, like if they're interacting with each other, it has to be like digital.
The cool scene when they are lighting the cigarettes.
Yeah.
That to me that had to be the most important scene to do, because that establishes your suspension of disbelief in regards to how much
their
interact
first
with each
scene
other.
where they're passing
a cigarette to each other. Yeah, because and I'm sure it was just a body double, and you do a thing and just like composite on each other, but they'll go back and do, okay, so the wind was like this, so we'll have to do digital smoke that passes through him and crosses over to him to kind of like create more of an atmosphere. But 90% of the time it is dude with dots on his face doing a scene with Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan does the other side of it with another dude with dots on his face, and then they blah.
Great. Yeah.
They piece it together like a puzzle and then erase the seams with digital.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
I purposely don't watch behind the scenes for at least 2-3 years.
I was going to say I do it afterwards.
Yeah, because does it ruin it for you?
I just want to get lost in it.
In the magic. Yeah, the movie magic. One of the things I love about Coogler, talking about the Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther, and antagonists who are just as interesting, I think, as the protagonists. Oh, yeah. I have a theory about the vampires in this movie that Noel does. I don't think he agrees with.
I don't disagree.
I feel like the vampires in this movie, as opposed to other films, there's a lot of lip service of like, oh, you got to join us because we're vampires and it's cool. In this movie, I feel like they genuinely mean it. I feel like these vampires, this hive mind of vampires, genuinely care for the people. Like if I was turned into a vampire and you were here and I wanted to, I genuinely would want you to join me. And there's a sequence where I forget her name, Stack's wife.
Who? Annie? Or you talking about Haley Stansfield?
No.
Wunmi Mosaku.
Wunmi Mosaku. That's Annie.
Annie. So when Annie gets it and she makes him do the thing, they are legitimately upset that he killed her. They seem like to be mourning the fact that he killed his wife. And I took that to mean, they're legitimately interested in bringing their friends and loved ones and family into this experience that they're having. And yes, it's going to take a metamorphosis, i.e. dying and shitting your pants probably. But when you come through the other side, this shit's awesome. And I want you here with me because I love you. What feeling did you get from the vampires? He took that scene as, we almost had her and he killed her. Whereas I took it as, we want her with us because we like her. She's part of the family.
To benefit their cause. Yeah. Like it's, to me, it was still like a self-serving, not, we like her.
Yeah.
More.
He took it as,
I took it as that was one of our Legion. You took her from me.
And probably of all of them, the one that they would want because they knew that she had some affinity to the supernatural. I think I lean more towards that.
I don't think you're like off with that. I just think that it's more nuanced. But at the end of the day, that was going to be another one of us. Mm-hmm. Like that was another one of ours.
See, and something else that backs up what my theory was is at the end when we meet Stack and Haley Steinfeld's character at the club.
In the 80s.
In the 90s.
90,
right?
1992. That's right.
Yeah, he had a flat top. Come on now.
Yeah. But the fact that he promised his brother a thing and then kept that promise. So that shows me that these vampires specifically are capable of that, and it's not all just self-serving.
Well, I did like that because what I did like is that showed that vampires can hold on to a level of humanity.
Yes.
So I did appreciate,
which they established earlier too.
And they do appreciate that. And to your argument, I think there is some truth in that argument, but I think the scene that actually shows it a little bit is when the Chinese guy comes for his wife.
Right.
And because of where he is, I don't think he's even thinking about their daughter out there. He's thinking about come, and it can be argued that he actually wants to turn her so that she is with him.
His family's with him.
You know, and knowing that, you know, now I'm going to go get my
kid.
wife.
Yeah.
I mean, go get the kid.
Yeah.
The argument against it, though, is that when Remick basically threatens about going to get the kid, then it's like, like.
Yeah, there's a like in
That's
all
not care.
in almost all vampire lore, or there is a allusion to addiction and want and desire and feed.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying there isn't emotionality to it, especially the way that they're presented here, but that is the core of like make more feed, make more feed, and that's kind of where I
him
got.
Being the main antagonist, as opposed to
Being there.
like just because they're Dracula. Just because he shares their memories doesn't mean he cares. But I feel like the people who become vampires genuinely want to have their loved ones with them.
Well, I don't think they want to be alone, but I also think that people in cults that are dangerous want their family to come join them also.
Yeah.
So I don't like, again, I think both are incredibly valid, but I land on the side of the movie, like what Coogler wants to say, because that's like, I guess that's the opinion of God.
Yeah.
And the last, we talked about this, the last interaction in the movie was an expressed regret for being a vampire. And to me, that's the last note of it for the movie. So no matter how cool it might be on the other side, no matter who you have with you in eternity, there is still a deep regret inside of you about that choice you made.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think that goes against my theory.
that's what I
okay.
That's what I said. I think both are valid, but at the end of the day,
After 80 years, you want to see this done.
yeah, after 80 years, it was the best day.
Yeah.
And go on, King.
And I love
I
how
think
we
that's
spend
wonderful.
all of that day with them. And you can see that it was the best day. You know what I mean?
Well, up to that point.
But yeah, up to that point. Yeah.
Up to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something very self-serving coded about all vampires, no matter how cool or earnest they seem. Even in movies where the vampire is the main character, it is a giant struggle to fight their urges. And this didn't even have that. It was just a desire to assimilate. You must assimilate to us.
Yeah.
So I never for a moment thought that Rennick and his legion were being mostly earnest.
Yeah.
Like they were just trying to win.
No, yeah, it was just something that struck me as like, this feels like a different kind of vampire
Maybe that.
story.
So Smoke
Nuanced.
is the one that gets turned, right?
Yes.
And Stack, what's
Wait,
Smoke's actual
damn it.
name? Because Stack is Elijah. Right?
Stack gets turned. Stack
Gets turned.
is
Stack.
Red
Smoke,
Michael B.
oh,
Jordan.
don't bring that Smoke. God damn it.
Yeah.
That was such a good fucking scene.
Yeah.
Because he got to make his choice. And that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I completely forgot about the clan
Yeah.
until it showed. I'm like, what's he doing? Like,
Yeah.
what's he doing?
He's dragging that box, and I'm like, who's in
things?
that box?
Two things I clocked was like, we did not see his brother get killed, so he's not dead.
He's not dead.
The movie doesn't show you he's not dead, so he's either going to come back or something happened, and we'll reveal later. But then also, this movie's not ending.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Right.
And then he starts to unpack the box. I'm like, oh, the fucking clan! Like, already we've been through such an emotional turmoil and catharsis, and you're like, oh, this movie's gonna let me eat again.
Yeah.
And
I have this cake, and I can eat it?
Yeah, like, oh, there's ice cream too?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and sprinkles? Oh my, it was like the most emotionally cathartic piece of movie. And then to crescendo on him having a moment with his fucking son.
I know.
God.
I was a
mess.
fucking puddle.
I was a
Yeah.
mess.
It was literally like horror catharsis, I don't know, social justice catharsis, and then just emotional like all of it just in 5 minutes, and it made the 2 hours before just even that much more magical. Like,
And
movie is
I love how it seemed
a
like
miracle.
he starts to say something. He's already been shot. And he's there. He's dying. And I forget what he asks him. But he's already having this exchange with his beautiful wife and child, and he just Tommy gums him. He's like, I'm doing this over here. Will you just die? My wife's here. Shut up.
It's very genre, but also very, very, very earnest. And I
Can anyone tell me why the clan showed up in the morning?
oh yeah,
It felt weird. It was like, did you expect everyone to like sleep here, sleep overnight?
They didn't show up in robes, and the intention was to go all night, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they
Yeah,
say
the
that?
juke joint is like an all
Is
thing.
it always
Yeah, there's
let out in the
no
morning?
closeout.
It seemed like they
Yeah.
would be there the night like at the nighttime, not just.
No, you kind of like.
If you want to get
You
every-
go home in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You go home in the morning.
I've never juked.
I also read somewhere, and I don't know how bullshit.
Because
this is or
remember,
not.
they show up, but it's not that long after sunrise.
Yeah.
So, which is around the time where you'd be like, all right, I gotta go.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole point is to close down the place, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
I did read somewhere, and I don't know how much. I have to look into it more. That the twins were almost like manifestations of the difference between blues and gospel, and how they've kind of bifurcated from each other.
Gospel?
Yes,
Yeah.
gospel.
Yeah.
So like both having like origins and roots and storytelling, and kind of from the same place. However, they've ended up having different functions in cultural societies, and also like Sammy's whole dilemma to having to choose one or the other. He
Yeah.
literally has to choose one or the other.
Yeah. Shout out to Miles Caton, who plays Sam.
Dude, I have no idea who that kid is.
He's just
It's
a musician.
awesome.
He's just a musician, man.
Awesome.
Fantastic, man. And Saul Williams, who plays his father. Oh my God, really good.
Dylan was saying, was that Dylan who was saying that was your favorite part of the movie where they're
When he first plays in the
driving
car,
and he plays the
yeah,
guitar
with
for the first
Stack.
time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and Michael
Stack
B.
just goes,
Jordan's like
"Woo!"
genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like,
excitement,
what
like,
the
oh.
hell?
Which
Yeah.
I am not a giant fan of movies doing flashbacks of like what you saw an hour ago. Because
But it was effective. when
most
they
of the
did it.
time
Yeah.
it's used in a hey dumb audience, you're
Right,
too stupid
right.
to remember this.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
But
this was just an emotional beat.
This was
Yeah,
just perfect because
yeah.
it was like it was emotional. Like it was basically just like putting powdered sugar on the cake that I
Yeah,
get to eat.
exactly, yeah.
Just like let me sprinkle some more. Awesome
Yeah,
on there.
that was my favorite like feel good part of the movie. Most devastating part was when Stack dies and Smoke says the best part about me was him.
Yeah.
That killed me. That was rough. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's to me that's the. I mean, how do you feel about that being a mid-credit sequence? Like that.
Half the theater was gone.
It's so wild.
Half the theater left.
But I don't think it would work as just a coda. Like it has to have some room to
break.
breathe. Yeah.
He's got to age
No, I love
60
that.
years.
I love
Well,
the way
also
it
too, it's like just aesthetically and thematically, it's kind of a different movie.
Yeah.
You know, that 10 minutes at the end. Stay for the credits.
Yeah, for sure.
The person checking tickets actually told us when we went in, like, stay, like, there's a post credit scene.
that's
Stick
great.
around. Yeah.
That's good.
yeah.
They should do that.
That's
more.
crazy. It's crazy that people don't. I don't know. I guess if it's not Marvel, you don't, or a blatant like superhero film, you don't think to stay.
Especially since during it's not like it's just credits and then a scene. You're watching him play.
If you even watch the beginning of the credits, you see that it's going through his life.
Still going. Yeah.
I go by old school movie theater rules. If the house lights aren't on, then there's still movie.
That is the
it.
rules.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
If they didn't raise the lights, there's still movie
There's something
playing.
coming.
That's it. Yeah.
So you stay.
So
That's right.
just chill there until
So wait for the lights.
wait for the lights to come on. And I mean the second rung of lights. Like there is a slow, like there's trailer lights. That's the
All
half
the
dim.
lights.
When the half dim goes back up, there's still movie. When the full lights go back on, then you can go home.
Yeah.
Just wait for the trash can to come rolling in.
Yeah. Honestly, yes. When the staff starts like meandering in and don't want to get in front of you to start sweeping, they know there's shit happening. So like, wait.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, this movie was amazing. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm sad. My plan was to go see it again, and I didn't realize tonight was the last
still
night.
go see it.
Or on.
You
Well, I
just
wanted
can't
to
see
see
it
the
on-
big.
I know.
The big uns.
It's
I know.
but it's Limax.
No, it's filmed in IMAX.
But they don't have a 70 millimeter print at
King of Prussia?
Well,
King of
that's
Prussia.
true. That's true. I think because
It's
a friend
like-
of mine was saying that in LA, he is expressly telling people exactly what theaters he wants them to go to that have it in IMAX in 70 millimeter.
Yeah, it's
So
like,
wait, the only IMAX projector or screen rather in Pennsylvania doesn't actually have a 70 millimeter print of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
still-
to be fair, it's not the only IMAX, but there's not one.
it is.
Isn't it the
it is
only-
the only 70 millimeter projector IMAX in
King of Prussia.
is in King of Prussia. Now, did
Well,
you say that Bryn Mawr has
Bryn
one
Mawr
too?
has a 70 millimeter
So-
projector now, but I thought
But
that
they don't have
they don't
IMAX.
have the screen. I thought that they don't have
Yeah,
the screen.
they don't have the screen. They have the IMAX projector, so you could see it in the full like 190 aspect ratio. It's just not on
So
a 6-story screen or whatever the hell it is.
I thought that there are other IMAX size screens.
Yeah, Warrington
Yeah,
has a
so-
Warrington, you're
Warrington
right.
has
You're right.
so does
Cherry Hill.
Downingtown
think
has
Cherry
a
Hill has
IMAX size screen. It's just there are less than 20 70 millimeter IMAX projectors in the country.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
King of Prussia, New York, like Times Square, and then like Texas and California and like one Middle America kind of stuff. So usually when there's a 70 millimeter, like a big 70 millimeter movie coming, it's always at King of Prussia because honestly, that is the only place in the tri-state area that anyone's able to go to within a 2-hour radius to get there. So when Oppenheimer was playing, it was literally sold out for 2 or 3 weeks. Every single screening. They were adding overnight screenings for Oppenheimer. I didn't get to see it until like 3 weeks later, because I was stupid about it. But it just shocks me that this movie was shot in 70 mil, is being screened in 70 mil, but wasn't here at all. It's got to be a contractual thing. Like,
I wonder if it'll do like a film tour the way that
It-
like a lot of
I think it will because like
it's
you-
just
like,
doing so well.
Tenet,
yeah.
Tenet came back in 70 mil. Interstellar came back in 70 mil. They did like after video release on Oppenheimer, they did a bunch
Yeah,
of 70
yeah, yeah.
millimeter screenings.
Yeah,
I think they
probably come back out in like around Halloween or something like that.
studios have to book IMAX screens for presentation like a year out.
Yeah.
So like they can't step on another studio's renting of the screens to like keep it going because it's doing well.
Right.
They have to wait till there's availability, which is going to be after the summer.
And
probably.
what's the one? Did you say it's Thunderbolts? Is the
Thunderbolts, which begs the question for the two of you, because me and Vincent were talking about this. Thunderbolts is coming out this week. We saw Thunderbolts. It's okay, right?
I'm very excited.
It's nothing great, but it's okay. You know, I have to say I enjoyed it more than Captain America.
Sure.
Vincent didn't, but he liked it. My question though is, I believe that there is an opportunity that Sinners, because the word of mouth of this is so strong, that this might actually still beat Thunderbolts.
I don't think it'll beat, but I think that it will.
It'll be closer than you think, right?
Actually, I think it'll be a percentage thing.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
it only dropped 4% from week 1 to week 2.
Crazy.
Which is absolutely
insane.
And I think it'll have the same level of drop, only like maybe under 10%. But that means it still will only make like 35 million.
Right. While
Thunderbolts is going to make like 150,
60.
160.
No, it's tracking at 60.
Globally, it's tracking for like 150,
globally.
160.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about domestically.
Domestically, somewhere between 70 and 80. But so I think it'll be number 1, but I think that the story is going to be like the legs of it. This will be like Oppenheimer, where for 2 months it will still be in the top 5 or the top 3 or the top 10.
Yeah.
It like because it's a movie with legs. And I did also read somewhere that like IMAX is trying to make, because the next after Thunderbolts, the next movie that has IMAX screens booked
Mission
is
Impossible.
Mission Impossible, but then also Final Destination. No, Final Destination and then Mission Impossible.
Well, I'm excited for Found Destination.
They're trying to get like some screenings of Final Destination to like move so they can do special
Sinners in
screenings
there.
of Sinners, like maybe one a day.
Because they
kind
know
of a thing.
people will come.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
And
look,
also too, because like Mission Impossible is 3 hours long. You can
so
only
you can't-
fit 3
those-
screenings or 4 screenings a day, whereas I'm sure Bloodline is like 90 minutes with credits. So they were able to like squeeze in here and there like 2 or 3 times a week.
look, these movie theaters are happy. I don't know if Dylan told y'all. Dylan saw this on a Monday.
Yeah.
A Monday, and it was sold out. He was at the front of the screen.
Tuesday night, when I got my tickets, there were seats. You went to look for tickets
Gone.
the day of. It was sold out.
Yeah,
It was
we
a
went to go
Tuesday
join
at
them.
7.
We had to go to a different theater at
Yeah.
a different time.
Yeah, I mean it's moving. It was moving.
And 90% of the auditorium was very respectful and locked in.
Mm-hmm.
There was one lady who used her flashlight to look at her hand a lot. I don't know why.
She thought she was bit.
Huh?
She literally, like, she was in the row in front of me, and we're talking like not just like my phone screen for a little bit of light, like fucking the flashlight was doing this.
Weird.
And I was just like, this is too fascinating to even be mad at. I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Anyway, we did it.
10 stars.
Oh,
Go see it.
I can't wait to see it again. So good.
I already pre-ordered the 4K.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I don't have a 4K anything.
I just
To watch on
this
it.
is a movie that needs to be owned. It needs to be watched. It's good.
Let us know what you thought of Sinners. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Don't forget to tune into the Micho Mission.
Yes.
If you want to talk to Len, where can they email you?
Oh, we can email us at micheaumission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Tomorrow we're going to be recording a free comic book day edition of Fresh Floppies.
Yep, we're going to be looking at some of the books that are coming out free comic book day this Saturday. But tomorrow you can listen to us talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you later.
See everybody in June.
Doo-doo.
Peace.
Bye, Dylan.
Young John.